difference with CBD direct oils.
CBD oils may have the health benefits for your aches and pains.
Mobile Tech RX, the app that helps you make more money.
Welcome to another episode of PDR Tool Time. This is episode 207, and I'm your host, Daniel Grom, along with John Renstrom. How you doing, John?
I'm doing good. Oh man, we're flying solo.
I know. The parents are gone, and the kids are going to play.
I know.
We're going to have a raging party.
Yeah, I know. I brought cigarettes, the whole 9 yards.
Oh,
I mean, we're getting away with everything.
Yeah. I broke it open the liquor cabinet. Oh, boy.
Got the keys, and I think we've got it perfected if we replace the vodka with some good crystal spring water. Nobody will ever know.
Exactly. So we got a great show for you. We're going to go over a little bit of the MTE Tag Team competition. And
yeah, we'll get a couple of people brought in on that one, huh?
Yeah. And how's your week been since MTE?
Oh, it's been good. It's busy. I'm getting buried back into a new MTRX project in the comparative pricing, trying to get that set up. So that's going to be a long, couple month long project. So I do have an F-150 that I'm going to fix the hood and the roof on coming in though next week. So
aluminum.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
I'm looking forward to it though.
Okay. That's good.
It's going to be a nice break from staring at my computer screens.
Right. So, yesterday I had all the lights, the overhead lights in my shop replaced. And
all right.
Oh my freaking God. So we had the old fluorescents, and I started with a couple LEDs, but now I've got all of them done, the whole shop. And
now,
yeah.
Did you have like 8-foot fluorescent light fixtures?
Oh no, they were like 15 foot. They were linked together, so they're really long. And
right.
They hung down really low. And we get all this dust from the freeway, so the tops of them were just black and ugly and gross, right? And so with the new LEDs, they're so friggin' bright, we had to raise them all the way up to the top of the rafters. But that opened up the sight line, first of all. So it made the whole space look bigger. And then with all the LEDs done, not just a few, it's like I'm not depressed today. Your depression fades away.
So did you go with like a 5,000, Kevin, more of a
Yes.
daylight?
Yes.
Okay.
I went as high as I could get, 250 watt, 56 Kelvin, I think is what it is, or something like that.
Okay.
5600 Kelvin.
Now, does it, when they're that bright on those LEDs, is reflection on the top panels? I know you do a lot more side panels probably than you do top panels, but how's that reflection on those top panels?
It's actually pretty darn good. I can fix dents with the lights, because then when they're up that high, you get it's got like 6 or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 strips. So it's like a friggin' line board of lights almost.
Oh, wow.
And you get the little fade in between them, and you can absolutely fix a dent. If you
That's something I'm going to have to, you're going to have to post a couple of videos.
Yeah. I swear to God, everybody's attitude today was totally different. And I'm going to say, guys, if you got a shop out there, I bought these lights on Amazon too. They're $170 a light, and it was worth every single penny to change them over. So the detailers are way happier, because now they can see see inside the car and see what they're working on. But the other thing it does is it highlight how cluttered the shop is. So now I got to clean. We were working in a cave, literally working in a cave. That's how bad it felt, Didn't realize it.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
So
all right.
I'm
Nice.
excited.
Great. Now, have you thought about adding any going down the walls?
Actually, I want to do colored. I want to do colored up lighting, and I have a lot of plans, but we want to put in a better sound system. We have some old speakers that I threw up, and they sound pretty good, but I want to put in a nicer sound system. But I want the sound system, I want it to be like Disneyland in here, So I want the sound to be full-bodied and go outside, so people coming in, all that atmosphere, like Disneyland, it sets a mood, And
Yeah.
I want to set a mood. One of my guys here, he's a rockabilly kind of a guy, and he's our DJ. He's the one that sets up the music, and he plays old school rockabilly type of music, so it's the right vibe. It's pretty cool.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, I think if you're setting that mood for your retail customers as they're walking through your door, that it's kind of a fun, cool place to come be. It maybe takes away a little of the bummer reason that they're showing up.
Right.
Make them feel a little bit better about getting their door dent fixed at a nice place.
Yeah. I'll mention one more thing. I had a customer, and I knew he was picky, and this thing's a 2001 Suburban, but when you see this thing, there's not a flaw in this thing. I mean, it looks showroom quality, brand new. I mean, it's ridiculous how good of shape this car is in. And it just had some really light ripples on the lower part of the door. But he didn't want me to drill any holes or anything like that. And I'm working through the harness with the door open. And you can only get so far back. And so there's so much you can see. And when I was done, it looked really good. But when I close the door and I get far away, then I could still see a little bit of ripple, but I couldn't see it from working where I was working. And I go, God, I hope it's going to be good enough. He comes in and he drives away, and he comes back and he goes, hey, can I pay you more to do a better job? And it was funny because I talked to my detailer about it. He goes, you know what? That was so good for that guy to come in and say that, rather than, hey, I can still see the dent. Why, can't you do better than that, But because he came in the way he did, I wanted to help. I wanted to make it better. And I explained the situation. I go, look, the only way I can really get the rest of this out, or to make it absolutely dead on perfect, is if I can get further back and see what I'm working on. I'm going to have to open the door and drill a hole and get further back so I can see. And then I put him in my place where I was working. I go, how does it look from this point of view? And he goes, it looks perfect. I go, that's my problem. And so he understood, and he goes, okay. And I go, look, I drill, I seal, I plug, just like a factory hole. I take extra steps and pride in when I have to drill. Yeah, it's 2001. Who friggin' cares? And we're in California. We don't rust. So, but this guy's picky, so I'm respecting that. But yeah, so I appreciate good customers and know how to approach a situation that makes me want to help. You know what I'm saying?
That's a rare customer.
Yes.
I have to say that, the fact that they didn't come back, grumpy, mad, willing to pay a little bit more to get a little bit more work done, and then willing to take the moment or the time to actually understand why it is that the results were what they were. Willing to stand in the door, look down the panel, look into the lighting, and that's a customer worth their weight in gold.
Yeah, well, he refers me probably more people than I deserve, because he knows a lot of people. He's a hot rod guy. He's got a T-Bird that's unreal. That's his wife's, but he's got a couple hot rods, I think.
Nice.
He's a car dude. So why don't we dive into let's give our buddy David White a call.
Yeah, we're gonna bring on David White from Dent Wizard, kind of to discuss a little bit about that tag team dent competition.
Yep.
Because otherwise, you guys have to hear only my side, and I'm going to have to just talk smack about all the rest of the competitors.
What's going on?
David, welcome to PDR Tool Time. You are live. Welcome. It's me and John Renstrom.
What's happening?
How's it going, David?
Going pretty good. I'm in the basement. I'm gonna walk upstairs this way I don't lose you guys.
Okay.
So are you all recovered? Now, because I get to co-host this show, I get to talk extra levels of smack against all my fellow competitors. And I know your arm felt like spaghetti after doing that hard damage. Now, so it's been a little over a week. Are you all fully recovered? Are you back in service? Did you have to take the week off?
Well, we'll start with let's go back up to the smack talk here. I don't believe either one of us finished anywhere where we could talk anything. And second of all, I had a +1 that took care of the bedside damage for me, so I didn't have to push anything.
You had a what?
the running joke was, when you guys tried to call me, I guess before the show, Vince had called my partner the +1.
Oh.
So we've been calling him +1 since. His name is actually Jeremy Nadu.
Okay. You're +1.
So, my +1.
Gotcha.
But, And unlike you, John, I actually push on a regular basis, so I built up the tolerance to that.
So, what were your thoughts on the competition? Did you was that the kind of fun, competitive sort of field you'd like to see more of?
Oh, absolutely. That was an absolute blast. I hadn't had that much fun at MTE since probably the first one I went to, and I mean I have fun at MTE, but that was entertaining. It was enjoyable. If anybody watched us go off, I mean, Jeremy and I definitely had. Unfortunately, we didn't do very well on the dent, but we had a lot of fun.
Yeah. Eric and I really had a lot of fun too, and I actually found competing like that wasn't as stressful as doing it solo. Mainly because you had somebody to kind of bounce some reassurance off, I guess is how I would kind of put it. Like, when you're up there and you're pulling, you're thinking, my God, I'm going to look like a fool in front of all these people. And then your partner's like, dude, that's coming out really nice. And it's like, okay, all right, that's not so bad.
I'll agree. I mean, I've done the DO dent once, and there's something about walking into that ring and being isolated. You are totally on your own with everybody standing around you, staring at you, but they can't help you. They can't assist you. They're really just there watching to see what you can do. And going in with somebody else definitely has that, you got your camaraderie, you got some back and forth, kind of takes some of that pressure away. I mean, you're still pressured to perform, no doubt, but it made it more enjoyable. It made it fun. It made it exciting. And again, yeah, you're right. Having somebody to talk to and be like, hey man, I did watch him on that bedside where he was cranking away, and I was like, boy, you're really getting aggressive. Then I bent down and I looked at it and I'm like, but you haven't made a high spot yet.
So let me ask you guys this. So your preparation for it, were you taking it really seriously and really wanted to were you in it to win it, basically?
Of course.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
I wanted to do as good as I possibly could because I haven't pushed a dent in months and months.
How about Eric? How long has it been for him?
Oh, it had been, he said he fixed a door dent for a friend like 3 weeks ago, but it was a really small, lightweight one. Otherwise, he hadn't done anything in a year.
Oh, God.
So, honestly, both of our arms after the box side, both of our arms were so spaghettied.
Wow. Yeah, that box side was no joke.
Now, tool-wise, did you prepare? Tool-wise, did you get in there? Were you able to leave and go grab tools if you needed something, or did you bring what you needed? What was that like?
They did allow, the judges did tell us ahead of time, or actually Alliance Dent Repair that runs it, did say that if there was something we needed to go get, they would stop the clock and let us go out onto the floor and grab whatever we needed if we chose poorly in the beginning.
Did you have to do that?
We did not. No, we being Jeremy and I both being dealer route guys, wholesale guys, if you would, we had an idea of what we were up against, a rail dent and a bedside dent. And we had a good idea of what we wanted for the bedside dent. The downside was they didn't line up those dents to the holes very well for us. Being the dent wizard guys that we are, flat bars are in our arsenal. And our flat bars actually fit in those slots. So, believe it or not, we actually had a flat bar that was bent to hit that body line.
But your hole was offset from your dent.
Correct. They made the dents in between the slots because they were figuring guys coming in with like a door tool or something along those lines so that they would get that angle. Is what I'm thinking. They were definitely not setting up for anybody to have a flat bar. Of course, I was cracking jokes at Sal Contreras the whole time going, Sal's being real quiet. He's probably making a miniature version of his dent dial so he can get in that slot because he doesn't know what to do without a dent dial. It was just, we kind of got thrown off when we walked up and we looked at it and we're like, all right, plan 2, and Jeremy did bring he brought some door tools. We had some ultra stuff where we could change the handles out, and grab different stuff.
Now, Eric and I had to show up at 7:00 in the morning, and we pretty much ransacked the booths that were not covered by a tarp. That's how we got tools. And then we had to remember where to put them all back. So I got some from Ultra, and we got them from the Playground and the Anson van, and then I grabbed glue tabs from Kiko, and that's basically what we got. Now, one of the tools that I grabbed had way too long of a kick because that Dodge box side, that's the inner skin and the outer skin are not very far apart. So you don't want like a lot of guys grabbed a double bend tool and brought a double bend, and it had too much to it.
Yeah.
Right. You weren't able to get enough meat on it.
Actually, Ultra has those. They're made for those bed sides. They have a tool for that, and it's what is it? It's a pretty thick tool. I don't know what the diameter is, but and then it's shaved way up just for those rails.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, I think we had one of the Ultra. It just had a single bend and put the soft tip on the end of it. And that was the main rod that we used for the bulk of that. And then I finished it out with one of Blim's flags that I actually went back about 4 holes back from our dent and then got a pretty good angle on it. And was using that to finish out that dent.
But you guys were cranking on that thing and it wasn't moving much, right?
Oh, it was tight in that body line. I mean, my partner, it was just railing that thing, and I literally got down behind him thinking I was expecting to see a pizza pie starting to form up, and there wasn't even, I couldn't even see high spots yet. And I'm like, bro, are you even pushing yet? And he kind of laughed at me with a F you muttered in there, and so it was fun. I mean, where you say prepare, I mean, we prepared as far as we had tools. We kind of had a game plan of what we thought we would be using to get after it. But our preparation came more into the costume and the setup and the rollout. And, we had 2 friends that we put up in security shirts to clear the aisle. We had 2 other guys that showed up and dropped rolled out the red carpet for us on that last stretch going into where you go into the DO area. So, and we're walking out chugging PBRs and handing beers out as we were going, as if we were Stone Cold Steve Austin walking to the WWF arena, with McMahon standing there with the big middle finger in the air, like, yeah, we don't care about you. So, we came to entertain. I mean, I had a pizza delivered 15 minutes in. Come on.
I know. I thought that was awesome because
no way. Did I miss that?
That's awesome. Apparently.
Yeah, I didn't get to watch you guys, your entrance. I was buried with a customer at the time. But he finally walked away, and then all of a sudden the pizza guy comes in. Who ordered the pizza? I'm like, no way. And then I saw where he was going. I was like, that was an awesome idea.
So the whole time the judges are giving us the rules, they're like, you can stop the clock to do this. You can stop the clock to do that. Jeremy goes, can we stop the clock and go get lunch? And he goes, no. He goes, can we have lunch delivered? And he's like, yeah, just make sure you bring some for us. And I'm like, okay. And then he's like, can you feed me while I'm working? And he goes, we'll allow that too.
So what do you think brought on dressing up? Because it wasn't in
Kevin
the rule.
Bird.
Huh?
Kevin Bird.
Oh, what
Kevin
did
Bird started this whole, I don't know who actually started the Facebook group page that was for, it was like MTE Tag Team Competition group page. And so he grabbed everybody and then extras and threw us in this mix. And he said, him and I believe Andrew were kind of promoting some smack talk. And then Kevin busted out with if you dress up, you'll get extra points from me. Like if there's a tie, it'll go towards, I'll use that. And it just kind of steamrolled. And then nobody was really sure if we were getting points for entertainment or not. And
I know all the way up till awards, nobody was sure.
Come on. To be fair, there wasn't points given for that because the guys that won didn't dress up. And,
correct.
And you and
Hulkamania,
those two guys. Honestly,
Jeff.
I gotta give the best costume to them. I thought they went.
Oh, they came out, and the best part is leading up to that. Jeremy and I, and then you got Jody and Sean. So the six of us are Dent Wizard guys. So the whole time we're going into this, everybody's going, "Are you guys dressing up? Are you guys dressing up? What are you guys doing?" And nobody would say anything. I mean, we were all, as much as we're cheering each other on, we were mum, like, not telling you anything, dude. We're not telling you. And it wasn't even up until Friday before the show that Jeremy and I actually sat there on the phone and were like, all right, this is the way we're going. And then in a matter of about 15 minutes, we were on Amazon ordering all our stuff and then coming up with more stuff as we went, like, hey, what if we had security? Oh, who would do the security? Hold on a minute. I got a couple of guys. Let me get their shirt size. Do we have security shirts on Amazon? Can we get those by Monday?
Awesome.
So yeah, it laid out. So from here forward, I guess Vegas and the next Orlando one, they are redoing, from my understanding, they're redoing the scoring completely for DO and tag team, and tag team will have a third column now for entertainment value.
I think that's okay. That makes it worth it.
Well, yeah. It's from here. That's just going to you're going to have to level up your entertainment. I mean, forget your tools. You have to level up some entertainment here, Grum.
Well, I am a costume king. Halloween is my favorite holiday. And,
mine too, brother.
And I do it big in Halloween. So I might enter, but I don't have time. That's the problem. That's the biggest.
Man, I tell you, Eric and I, it took us forever to even come up with a song. By the time we had a little thread going, and it was like, we'd each forget about it for like 3 or 4 days, and we barely got a song for an intro song over to Kevin in time. There's no way we'd have figured out a costume thing jointly.
I'm sure we could have found some Taylor Swift for you, or some Britney Fox, or.
So how did you feel like? Okay, so the rail dent, pretty standard, right?
The rail dent failed me. I got my ass handed to me on that. I'm a Northeast guy. Everything I do for glue pretty much starts with a torch. No torch allowed. Well, what do I do now? I don't even know how to make this glue stick. I can't use a torch. But, and I'm used to being outside. So trying to convert to being inside, southern, little bit of moisture, and not knowing the glue, the tab, it took me forever to get it going. And we just flat out ran out of time. The bedside, we got to where we thought, all right, look, if this is acceptable. We got it pretty good. It's pretty flat. There's not a whole lot left. You can spend 15 more minutes on it. You can spend another half hour on it, depending on how bad you wanted to get into it. But we needed to move to the rail and just, like everybody, nobody finished.
Okay. What was your strategy? Was it bed first or rail first?
bed first. I let them get going because we wanted to get the meat and potato out of that because we figured that would be the fastest. Try to get that to a certain level of acceptance and then move on to the rail and get that up to that certain level of acceptance. And then whatever time was remaining, pick one that you thought you could finalize.
But you had to work on one dent at a time?
One dent at a time, one guy working at a time.
What do you think about that rule? Do you think it would have been better if one could be working on the rail and then you'd be able to switch?
You know,
it is called tag team, so I understand the concept is in the name.
So the biggest dilemma for us was we didn't do well time management, and there's not a day that has gone by since we've walked out of that ring and said, wow, we could have done X, Y, Z differently. So and I'm sure, John, you were probably the same way. Like, man, we could have used that tool, or you could have did this while I did that, or you could have been, we didn't do that part well.
Yeah, that was about the only thing that we did was effective time management, because we initially went in and we're like, all right, because we're both green and soft. It was like, okay, go for 5 minutes. Eric wanted to start the box side, and I'm like, and he says, dude, I haven't done anything with glue in I don't know how long. And so I'm like, all right, you start the bed, then I'll start the rail. And you take the first 5 minutes, I'll take the next 5 minutes. But Eric was on that dent, and he was really bringing it up smoothly at the 5 minute marker. And I'm like, dude, you're in the zone. Just stay, and we're cutting you off at 10 minutes. And then I hopped up onto the rail dent, and that gave Eric a little time because he dropped his tools when it come time for me to tag in. I was up on that rail dent, and he could stare at his box side dent and kind of decide his next maneuver while he walked around and massaged his shoulder. And we tagged like that for the first 10 minutes all the way through it until we got to the last, I think 15 minutes. And then we kind of alternated a little bit where I got on the box and he got on the rail and sort of cross-checked each other's work a little bit more. But that was our only game plan that we had, was actual time management. So
now I saw guys where somebody would be pushing, and then they'd get to a certain level and the guy would be ready to go, that he would just tag him in and he would do the blend, and then blend for a minute or 2 minutes, knock down the crowns, the highs, and then tag the other guy back in to get right back to pushing, which I thought was, hindsight 2020. Yeah, we should have been doing that.
Yep, that sounds like a much better idea.
And maybe some massage therapists in the corner for you to massage you or something.
Hey, Grom. The next competition's in Vegas. You want to keep that down a little bit?
Yeah.
We don't need to be thrown. Hey,
I'm just saying regular massage. I'm not saying rub and tug, man. Come on.
So I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag, but there were a few ideas that we were going to implement in Orlando. But due to cost and budget restraints, we decided not to, which I'm going to guarantee you are going to be a third of the price when we get to Vegas.
Yeah. I tell you though, my arm hurt. I could have used a massage on the shoulder. Yeah, that's because you push dents every day. I've been for the 6 weeks leading up to that, I was ferociously typing on a keyboard.
Hey, and just for reference, that styrofoam igloo we walked in there with was an ice down 24 pack of PBRs. So
you guys weren't feeling any pain.
You push dents. I'll sit here and drink a beer.
All right.
Well, let me ask you this. So are you going to enter next year?
Orlando 2021, yes. We will be back in Vengeance.
You're not going to come to Vegas?
I'll be in Vegas. He won't be. And I don't know if I'll tag team without him unless you need somebody to jump in there with you, which probably not the best choice. I'm sure there's much better choices, but...
So your plus one will be absent. I gotcha.
My plus one will be absent. Yeah. He literally flew in Thursday night, and his plan was to fly out Friday night just to do the tag team with me. And
And
then he got an extended stay and didn't have to leave till Saturday. But yeah, wife and kids, like that kind of they play a role, and we got to think about that. He coaches soccer and is very involved with his kids, and it's awesome. But he's like, man, he goes, I could fly out Thursday night and I could be back Friday night before my wife goes to work, third shift. He goes, and I can get it done. I was like, that's dedication, man. I appreciate that.
now, who were the two guys, the Hulkamania guys?
So that was Tad Jablonski and Jeff McMahon.
Okay, guys, I give you this. For costume, best costume.
Oh, yeah.
You came in a very close second, but I have to give it to them.
Hey, I'm all right with that. They told us what they were doing about 5 minutes before they did it, when they were trying to confirm that we swear we were going to get dressed up. And we're like, well, yeah, why? And then they popped out in that, and Jeremy had saw it, and he's just like, oh my God. He goes, yeah. And I'm pretty sure they wore their yellow boots to work the next day because they weren't cheap, so they wanted to get their money's worth.
You know what? I didn't know who the guys were. I was walking past the Dental Olympic booth, and all of a sudden they came out. So I was right there, and I filmed it. I posted it, and I was like, who are these guys? Because I couldn't recognize them. And that was brilliant because, they could compete and be anonymous.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it was phenomenal. That was great. As soon as I saw Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage, I was like, somebody did it. That was perfect.
Yep.
So it'll be interesting to see how it grows.
I think now that we've done that, and you've had, we came out, you had Glidewell and I can't think of the other guy's name that was partnered up with Casper came out, and they were, they did it up a little NWO, except they went real dent order or something. I forgot how they did it, but they dressed up a little bit. We did it, and then you had Cousin Clay come out with Billy Bob.
That was funny. Okay, those guys were great.
I thought they should have rolled out on a toy tractor and just a couple pedal tractors and rolled on in there in their big overalls.
But the fact that Cousin Clay laid that out for the entire weekend, his badge even said Cousin Clay, for crying out loud.
Nice, that's awesome.
That was awesome. He played that part up into MTE. He was Cousin Clay on Hobson's PDR interviews. Like,
nice.
Oh yeah, I'm doing the tag team. I'm gonna be there. Yup.
So, funny. But how much of a stretch was that for him, though? I think it was just the teeth that he added, right?
I don't know, and I'm not asking him because he was flexing in his overalls in the middle of that ring, and pretty sure he benched the three of us together.
Yeah, he was. Him and Robert aren't little fellas.
No. Was there any other noticeable or noteworthy costumes that I missed?
Not that I remember.
The
Bryce
bathrobes.
and Dan came in. Oh, the hotel ninjas.
Hotel ninjas.
Well, they took the hotel bathrobes. I called them the hotel ninjas.
Nice.
I was Shane Rosa? No. Yeah.
So we're gonna give Christina a call after you, and she just wanted me to pass on a message, and she said that you got beat by a girl.
Hey, when you get Christina on, remind her that I'm not having nightmares of what she had to see while she was competing, and she can explain.
Oh, okay.
That is definitely. I wanted to bring that up.
Okay,
because my wife died laughing when she heard that story.
Okay, we'll let her explain that.
Yeah. I'm not my job.
Well, we're about out of time, and I appreciate you, David White, coming on and representing the tag team. I'm looking forward to seeing what you bring next year.
Yeah,
awesome.
Me too.
All right, buddy. Thanks a lot.
Guys, always a pleasure. Talk to you guys soon.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Talk to you later, man. Good stuff. I tell you, though, I was glad. This is the first time I did it. I finally did it. I took my CBD oil that I ordered from CBD Direct. I took it to Florida with me, and that was That was my big saving grace because my shoulder hurt. I'll be honest. I don't want to sound like the little bitch, but Eric and I were sore after that.
I'm glad you brought that up because, going to an MTE event you have to have strategy in going because you are standing on your feet, walking around, talking all day. So you're dehydrating yourself. And when you get done for the day, everything hurts. And the CBD was my go-to for the day. And it saves me every single time. So if you guys out there are having aches and pains, go to CBD Direct. Use the code. What's the code?
PDRTT.
PDRTT. And get your percentage off. Get some today.
Absolutely. All right, Daniel, you're going to dial up Christina and let's find out what it was like from her point of view.
Let's get some shit talking going on.
That's right. David bringing up that flat bar, and I was thinking about some of those flat bars, and then Edgy's his micro tips. Those the super short tips that I kind of wondered how.
Hey, how you doing, Christina?
Good, how are you?
Good. You're live on PDR Tool Time, along with John Renstrom.
All right. How's John?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Good.
So you're in my neck of the woods. You're in California. You're down. You're down in San Diego. And what are you doing? Tell our listeners what you're doing.
I am training this week with Mr. Mike Toledo.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
And I talked to you earlier today. You went and got a massage today. Afterwards.
Yeah, we went to the mall and got a massage.
Now, is that because you got your butt whooped in the tag team competition? Your arm was just like buttery here a week later?
John, how does it feel to lose to a girl in the Dinner Olympics?
Well,
how does it feel?
Well, all right. So who we're gonna bring this out now. So when viewing across your competition vehicle, what would you say would be the biggest losing item there was?
Okay, hang on. I'm in the Toledo kitchen, and I feel like I shouldn't say this to their children.
Keep it clean.
Let me walk through the other room. Okay, so you really want to tell us.
Oh, you're cutting out a little bit.
What did you say?
You're cutting out a little bit. Say it again.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, the dreaded cell signal.
Yep. Go ahead.
Now?
Yep.
Okay. So I was real focused on the tag team event, and I had just tagged out, and my dad was on the bench. After me, the other at the same time, and they weren't fully clothed, and they were all packed.
Okay, you're cutting out. So I'm John. Explain to the listeners what she's saying.
Well, Christina had to stare across the costume gentleman in the other truck, who's rather testicular drop.
Yeah,
we're showing. They're dangling in the wind.
Yes, Christina got a ball
view of Christina. Were you offended?
Yeah, they were. Well, they were in the bedside, so it was like it was all up high, and like the angle was just like there, and one of the Dental Olympics crew was next to me. I was like, "Oh my gosh!" He was like, "Oh, Christina, is everything okay?" And I was like, "Look." And he's like, "Oh, no."
So, do you think this was? Do you think this was a strategy? It sounds like it was very distracting for you.
It was distracting. Luckily, it was not during my turn.
Well, let me ask you this: were they trying to wangle you?
They were trying to wangle me so much so that I couldn't tell who it was. John said they were costumes. So did find out who it was later, and I was able to place the face with the rest of the body.
Okay. Are they blacklisted at Anson now?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Gonna charge them extra for it. All right. That was the well, I guess that would be the ugly. So what was the good? Because we covered the ugly.
Okay. It was so much fun. The dents were so hard. Don't get me wrong. Like, they were awful.
Yep.
Terrible. But it was so much fun. And Dad, like, nobody else can say that. That was just cool.
Yeah.
You know, every time I got to walk by you and watch you working with your dad, and excuse me, I could see the pride in your dad's face, and I love that. You know, being a dad is, you know, with a daughter is one of the best things a guy can experience, in my opinion. And I could see that in your dad, in that he really was enjoying that. And I love that about him, because he thinks the world of you.
It was so much fun. And I didn't realize that we could talk to each other. I didn't know that was going to be able to happen. So it was nice, because I've only been doing this for a few months. You know, that he could say, okay, yeah, you're doing good. Yeah, keep doing that. You know, okay, try this. You know, especially when it was on the bedside, and you know, we were giving everything, all of our strength, and you know, both of us are shaking our arms out like chickens because
those were hard dents. I mean, they took a lot. Eric and my arms, we felt it all day, the whole rest of the day.
Now, how is your glue pulling technique on the rails? Are you stronger in glue pulling?
So I think one of the hindrances we had was taking a really long time for our glue to set up, and that really seemed to slow us down. We were trying to finish that rail dent, but it was taking longer than we expected, to where we had to go to the bedside to at least do something with it.
Right.
Okay. What glue were you using on the rail?
We were using gonna forget. We had 4 of them set up. We had tequila hot, we had tequila cold, we had hog, and we had turquoise. And I think that I was putting the hot on there, and I can't speak for my dad which one he was using, but we were alternating to see which one would set up faster.
Okay.
Good strategy. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was actually makes me a little bit jealous there. You guys had some glue options. I took some tab weld up, and I was thinking, man, I was between it and hog, and I was thinking, I wonder if hog would have been a better choice. But yeah, having multiple glue guns, that was a good idea.
We had them set up to dry, and yeah, it was definitely a competition, that's for sure.
But we just had David on, and he said the same thing, that the funness of it, being able to talk with your partner, take that pressure off. And that was where Eric and we were at on that one. So,
so much fun. Did you ask David what it was like to lose to a girl?
We threw that in his face.
Yep.
Yeah.
But you know what he threw back? He goes,
"What?
Yeah, ask Christina about the view she had."
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And we stopped it there and let you respond to that one.
So what would you say would be the bad? So we've got the good and the ugly. What was the bad?
That's a tough question. Just because I didn't come away with anything like a bad experience from it at all, or like a bad thing that happened for us anyway. What about you, John?
I guess I would agree with you right there. I didn't have a single complaint. The dents were hard and I expected them to be. I mean, in a tag team, you don't want anything soft. Otherwise you'd have, too many people finishing up. For the first event, I thought Alliance Dent Repair did phenomenal trying to keep everything organized and going. The entire show was great. So yeah, I can only give the good and the ugly, which thank God I didn't have to see your ugly. So
I took that one for the entire team. I'm just gonna tell you all that.
So
yeah, you should have gotten an award just for that.
Right?
Right?
Now, are you going to do it again next year, you think?
Oh yeah, we already have our team song picked out for next year.
Oh, okay. Good deal.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
And the costume will be good.
Okay.
We were more just matching this year. Like, we didn't know people were going to go all full on and off, but we got it for next year.
Dave did mention that they said that everybody was wanting points for their costumes. So I think the costume thing is going to be more of a deal.
Yeah.
Yep.
So let's
I think that's
shift gears a little bit, and so you've been training with a few trainers. Mm-hmm. Now you're training with the infamous Mike Toledo and his line board technology. And so give me your first impressions. What do you think?
My first impressions is I actually really like line.
Nice.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah. Don't tell Vince.
You know what? I'll say this about Mike. Mike, when I first went down to visit him, and I learned how he trains people, and honestly, he trains people way different than everybody else. Everybody else starts you off on a hood, doing X's and O's, and starts all this. Mike doesn't do any of that, and he's got a different philosophy about his training, and he obviously gets great results. And so I'm a full believer in what he's doing and his training style. I think he brings guys further along, and I think he's got something there. Would you agree with that?
Yes, I would definitely agree with that. He's got a way of explaining things that clicks.
Yep.
And he's got a way of making you feel comfortable, whether you're messing up and making the dent harder for yourself, or you're doing a good job. He makes you feel comfortable in his environment and with what you're working on. And it doesn't go easy. Today was day 2, and it was deep door ding.
Gotcha.
And
actually, I think you're getting probably the best training that anybody could ask for in the way you're doing it. You learn your fade light first and all that, and then you're learning line board second. And I think that's a great kind of a mixed martial arts, if you will, approach to it.
Yeah, I want to have a good overall, well-rounded knowledge of it.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Yeah, and to pick up pieces and different aspects of how everybody does something differently, and all those good pieces and why.
Now, I've never learned on a line board. I've created my own couple of line boards and played with them, and I've played with a few of the covers there when I was at Anson a little bit. So tell me what you like on the line board.
So I like that whenever I push the light back, that it shows the detail up even more, and I can pick a line and I can work from that line, and I can see that line pinch as I'm pulling that dent up. And I'm not having to strain my neck as much as when I'm on a fog board, because I'm not having my head perfectly parallel with the light, because the line board is already vertical up and down.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Interesting.
Well, I might have to try it next time we all get together down there.
You should try it.
Have you explained it a little bit?
April 25th, John.
Now,
April 25th.
April 25th, our open house. He said next time we're all together. So.
And how long are you going to be there? You're going to be there for. You've been there for 2 days. No.
Yes. I'll be here until Friday morning. So really, I have like 4.5 days, which typically his program is 4 weeks, but I don't really have 4 weeks right now. So we're kind of condensing all the high points into 1 week.
Gotcha.
Cool. Wow, that's going to be a crash course.
It is a crash course. Mm-hmm.
And then I get to take a turn with you. You're going to come up and see me, right?
Yep.
I hope.
Yeah.
You're going to learn some motorcycle?
We're going to do some motorcycle stuff.
Ooh.
She's going to be fully rounded here with
her
technology and her learning. It's going to be awesome.
She's going to have
She's going to be the Wonder Woman of dent removal.
Yeah, I want to be able to answer every question that my customers have. So, trying to get it all in.
That's awesome. I commend you for that.
Well, yeah, I think that's kick-ass.
I appreciate you coming on the show. And you said your open house is what date again?
Saturday, April 25th.
And
April 25th.
Did you know, Christina, that you can pretty much call Anson and order any and all tools? Did you know that?
Did I know that?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, I knew that.
That's what we love about Anson.
If not, we'll help you find them.
That's
know?
That's right.
We'll get them and we'll find them.
And what's the website so people can find you?
It's super easy. It's AnsonPDR.com.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate you for coming on and
thank you guys.
And we'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Great talking with
bye.
you. We'll see you.
Bye, John.
Okay. Bye-bye.
See ya. Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. She's really getting a chance to see how a lot of people are, how everybody does it. So talk about getting a lot of different perspectives of every aspect of PDR and able to relate that to her own customer base.
Huge props and respect for her, for doing.
Well, that's a big commitment.
It is. It's not easy. She's got little ones at home. She's a mom and a wife, and she's got a lot on her plate, and she's carving time out.
Take your full-time job that all of us have, and then go add a whole training session that requires you to be in a different part of the country.
Yeah,
to do it. So,
and my hat's off to her for doing all that. Just total respect. So I'm excited for
I think
her.
that's great. Yep. Well, that sounds like maybe this tag team competition at MTE between Vegas and Orlando. I think that's. I think we're just. Year one was a little bit of a tester. I think we're going to see a lot more, maybe a bigger field, just because guys that might be a little too intimidated to go out alone and do that regular dent competition. Yeah, there wasn't a single competitor that I talked to that didn't say the same thing about it was a lot funner having a friend in there with you.
Well, you know what I think it does? It kind of fills a void because we had the Drunk Olympics, and that was organically created. And it was we tried to organize it a little bit, but that was a disaster because it really wasn't sanctioned. And this is kind of taking the replace it a little bit, but make it even funner without the alcohol and all the craziness and all that, but make it legit and sanction it. And I think it's going to be something that people are going to look forward to more than the Dent Olympics. Yeah,
I agree.
And the two guys that won, the ringers, they didn't dress up. So next year, I think if we get points going to dress up, they've got to up their game to be able to win the competition. And I think that makes it even better.
Exactly. Yeah, that's going to add a whole new element into it, because now I got to outthink that, because should I even get the opportunity to practice, that's going to be one thing. But man, if you don't have the costume to throw in too, maybe I can go as Edgy Gator.
Oh, there you go.
Ooh. And then I'll just be sponsored by Edgy Tools.
Yeah. You know, that reminds me, Edgy Tools, man, they are killing it. Have you seen his catalog?
I only what Hudson finally got to show me a little bit. I didn't get to go walk around the show.
That's right. I forget. I'm sorry. I didn't bring that up. But I love edgy stuff. You know, he's, you know, one of the things he's been coming out with is his low profile tips. And if you're a sword guy, I have that care point flat bar.
Yeah.
And you put one of his low profile on there, it's friggin' perfect marriage.
The little the teeny weenies.
The teeny weenies.
So, and that's I kind of wondered on that little flat bar that he was talking about, if one of the teeny weenies would have worked great on that box side.
It might have. Yep. Definitely.
And helped finish it out. That would have been cool. So yeah, go to edgytools.com and make sure you use the coupon code PDRTT. And get you some Edgy Tools.
Get your trinkets and doodads from them.
So,
and especially their knockers with their pasties. That I'm swearing by those. That's my favorite. The opposite end of my hammer.
I had my knocker on my blending hammer on the Denton competition. That was one of the handful of tap downs that I took was edgy tips.
There you go. All right.
So,
and any closing comments? I think this is running out of time here.
Yeah. Well, about the only closing comment I can come up with is leave your balls in your shorts and don't do stupid stuff.
And level up those tools.
Visit AnsonPDR.com for the largest selection for just about all your PDR tools, where you'll find hog glue and hog tabs.
Don't forget to grab your Magnatech mat, available at most PDR tool distributors. Thanks for listening.